Today I'm going to be going over the FRC, Functional Range Conditioning CARS, Controlled Articular Rotations, specifically the morning routine. The morning routine is used to work on most of the big joints of the body. They call it the morning routine because they would like you to do it as soon as you wake up in the morning. For joints, it is important for you to get as much movement as possible in them to keep them healthy. So the morning routine uses these articulations in full range of motion in each of the joints to continue this. If you're injured, you want to do these as much as possible, and you should do them generally as much as possible throughout the day if you can. The two big things that I usually give to people to make the rules for these are, number one, to only move the joint that you're working on, and I'll get into that a little bit more, and number two, only moving pain-free. So if I'm moving through a range of motion for one particular joint and it starts to hurt, even though I can move further, then that would be where my range is. So I'm just going to start with the neck, so cervical spine, bringing the chin down, turning towards the side, coming to the left, extending back, rotating towards the other side, bending to the side, coming down, and back to center. And then you're going to reverse the process. Again, only trying to move my neck, so not letting my body turn. Next is the upper spine. So, same thing as the cervical spine, bend down, rotate to the side, rotate, side bend, extend back, rotate, extend back, rotate forward, come back to center. Repeating the process the other way. This one, really making sure when I move, not to let the hip come forward. So following that first rule. Next we will do the shoulder, the scapula, and shrug up, shrug forward, shrug down, back, up. So making that rectangle. And then reversing the order. Notice I'm keeping my hands on my side, not letting them move or hike up. Next, the glenohumeral during the shoulder joint. Start with the palm facing out and come in front of my body. Coming up, if you can get it as close to your head as you can, you're gonna go reaching back as far as you can. You're gonna hit a point where you can't. Rotating the thumb down, continue to extend back. Continue to rotate, and you should end up with the back of your hand next to your leg. I'm gonna reverse the process. Again, not moving my body, not reaching, trying to turn my whole body, and not going into pain. So on the other side. Lots of cracking for me. So do the elbow. So come up, rotate, down, again up, rotate, down, rotate, and reverse the order. Getting as much as you can, trying to get every little joint space you can. For the wrist, you can do one at a time. So not ulnar deviate, going inside, extend, radial deviate, trying to keep my palm straight, coming up. You might not get as much as you would think. Those 4 movements. Reversing the order. Same thing on the other side. The only thing that should be moving is my wrist. They say take your best favorite beverage and put it right there, so when you rotate, that shouldn't fall. So it's all coming just from my wrist. Next we will do the hip. So I'm going to pick one. If you need to hold something, you can feel free to do that. So the first one, I'm just going to lift up just so the leg that I'm working on passes the other leg. I'm going to rotate in, come up as far as I can go, out to the side, rotate back, extend back, back down, reversing the order. I like to hit that, coming up, back down, other leg. Usually I do 2 on each. I'm just on a little shorter. Extend back, back down. Extend. For this one, making sure I'm not arching my low back when I move my hip. So coming here, not extending back, trying to not as much as possible. And I'm not going to extend as far back as I can, because if I start extending too far back, now I'm moving that my lower spine instead of my hip. The knee. If you can, there's 2 ways to do this. This is the first way. So I'm just going to get my knee joint. So the little tibial tuberosity, little bump below your kneecap, that's going to move. So I'm going to rotate my foot, my lower leg, bend my knee, rotate in, and extend, and then reversing the order. You can do that standing, or you're gonna get like a rear naked choke on my knee. So one hand goes underneath my knee, grabs the other forearm, and that other hand goes on top. Extend, rotate, rotate. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Rotate, extend. For this one, it might help to thinking of bringing the inside or the bottom of your heel out instead of trying to turn your leg. So if I rotate leading with the back of my heel, that will get that rotation. And again, you should feel the little bone, tibial bump on the tibial tuberosity there. Rotate when I rotate. The next one's kind of easier doing seated, is moving the ankle. So I'm gonna rotate and invert. I guess that would be evert. Point. Rotate in. Extend. Reverse in the order. Same thing on the other side. Rotate, point, extend. We have the toes. A couple ones for the toes here. First, going to try to lift only the big toe. A couple times. Now, keeping the big toe down, I'm going to only lift the small toes. Now you can bring them all up and try to accordion them down. You might have one toe that's a little more mobile than the others. Lastly, we go for the whole spine, and that's just cat-cow. So cat, cow. Again, this is controlled articular rotations. The morning routine are going to move the entire body, and then making sure we're only moving the joint we're working on, number one, and number two, never going into pain.